Hello, everyone, and welcome to Checkpoint XP on campus. I am your host, Jacob Brothers, and joined with me is Erica Sidora. Erica, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great, and we are joined by a very special guest. We are joined by Jonathan Hollywood Song, the support player for Bethany University. Jonathan, how you doing today?
Hey, doing great. Nice to see you guys.
Great to see you. So, starting with the obvious, you played in CLoL, and you played a series against Maryville. So, how did it feel playing Maryville? And the series did go 3-1, but how did you feel about that series overall?
Oh, Maryville being the top esports program in the nation, we knew it was a tough one going in. And I've always had this long history with Maryville. I talked about it a little bit on cast, but they were my arch nemesis back then when I played for Columbia College because we were in the same region and the two schools are 2 hours apart. So we knew it was going to be tough going in, and I really wanted to win. And I think that first game was actually the closest game we've had all year. It was just so back and forth, and we knew it was going to be a momentum setter. And after we did lose that one, it was kind of tough for us. But at the end of the day, it was so much fun, and we hope to play them again soon.
That is so important. I mean, when I was talking last week about your team, I really thought Bethany was the underdogs, but you guys really pulled through and it was incredible. I was on the edge of my seat and I was like, dang, this team is so ridiculously good. And you talked a little about being on Columbia. Do you think being on different teams really changes your play style? And you guys were in the Northern Conference as well. So do you think your play style was a little different? Do you think you improved a little bit more from the Northern Conference to CLoL?
Yeah, we definitely did. I think we got knocked out early in the Northern Conference. Just we had an off day, and UIUC played pretty well. We actually didn't even make it to top 32. So that was tough for us, and we thankfully got the bid-in spot. You know, we went from not even top 32 to top 4, so can't really complain. But yeah, being on these different teams helps a lot. You know, every team has different play styles. They have different players, different personalities you have to play with, and whether you could have a really strong player in one particular lane, like a particular role, or that could be completely flipped in the next team. So playing with Bethany has been really fun for me as a player and as a person too. You know, I actually knew these guys before I came to Bethany. These guys we're all from Minnesota, so we just knew each other from locals. You know, we would have like a tournament at the Mall of America. We'd play together and see each other. So that's kind of why it was easy for us. Yeah,
That is so sweet. You have that Midwestern like politeness around you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love
exactly. So
Sorry to cut you off, but so we talk about underdogs. You mentioned underdogs a little bit ago, and I was kind of wondering this as well because obviously Winthrop was the one who had won it all, and then like Maryville had dropped some maps, and Harrisburg had dropped some maps which are uncharacteristic of them. So do you think, granted they are the big titans they have been for the last several years, but do you think it's going to start shifting? I mean, with Winthrop winning and now underdogs are starting to play better against these titans. So do you think that these other schools are starting to get that momentum in the scene and these underdogs are going to stop being underdogs?
that's the biggest thing that surprised me this year coming back to CLoL, because I took a 2-year break and I actually played Hearthstone at Harrisburg. I kind of took a break and did a hiatus with that, but coming back to the scene, I'm like, wow, you know, there's so many new colleges. Like back then, 3 years ago when I was competing with Columbia, the big titans, like you said, were just like Columbia was Maryville, and then it was maybe like RMU was still there, and the Harrisburg essentially. And yeah, now it's like Winthrop, and although maybe their program isn't quite as known, their players are known for sure. You know, their jungler for Winthrop, he was at HU when I was there, and he was their jungler at the time. So all these different players intermingling at different colleges, yeah, there's definitely going to be a big difference, and that's my hope. You know, to have a more competitive top 10, maybe top 20 atmosphere rather than just top 4 or top 5. So.
Right, and as everything's constantly changing, the meta's changing, the strategies are changing. What can you think about Bethany? What can you and your team improve coming into the next CLoL season, and what can you expect from other teams, seeing as how Winthrop really swept everyone under the rug? What can everyone tighten up on?
So for us especially, you know, take this for better or for worse, but we actually had a very light practice schedule. And compared to Maryville or Winthrop, who they scrim maybe, I've heard, maybe 6 or 7 times a week. This could include double blocks during the day or maybe even blocks on weekends. And for us, maybe we did a scrim maybe once a week. You know, whether that's good or bad, you know, practice is very nice because it's a less workload for me personally. And obviously there's going to be some people who kind of dispute that, in which we should scrim more, but we definitely need to practice more. We're going to have to tighten up our practice regimen It's what we sign up for, right? It's part of the job. It comes with the practice, and it's what we sign up for. So that, and then I guess just everything else as a whole is going to be huge too. So practicing more, playing more champs, and playing more meta. Because us at Bethany, we kind of played one particular style, if that makes sense. And then while Maryville, they ran maybe 3 or 4, 5 different styles, and everybody was just so proficient at their roles. So gonna have to tighten up on that for sure.
Right. So final question. Look into your crystal ball. Obviously, the finals just happened, but next year, what's going to be the big thing? Who are going to be the teams involved besides Bethany University, of course?
If we're looking at a top 8 running back, it's probably going to be the same 8. I can't really tell right now, but more exciting for us is actually we have a Maryville LAN in July. So it'll be we're actually all of the top teams are going to St. Louis, and we're going to play there. So that'll be a more accurate representation. Maybe the meta is going to be favoring some certain teams. Maybe Maryville might win that instead of Winthrop this time. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Or maybe you guys will win that. I mean, like, come on, you guys
That's
are
absolutely
awesome.
on the table. These
right.
underdogs aren't being underdogs anymore.
Right,
That's
exactly.
true, yeah. That's true. Because we did play on a different patch, of course, so you never know.
Of course. Yes, the patch, of course. All right, but Jonathan Song, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast, and best of luck to you going forward in Bethany University. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.